For 10 years, I collected snapshots. Many of them were kids in Riga using our mini etching press. But something changed suddenly when kids started coming in asking about 3D printing. And years ago, I made the wee witty Rembrandt press with the help of some of my friends. And this is the press I think we can make in plastic. Already, Martin Schneider has made a 3D printed press in Cologne, Germany. This one and that little tiny black one. But frankly, I can't do that here without money, and that's why I'm doing a GoFundMe. If there are questions you have, you can send me your questions, and I'll be happy to explain. Thanks for watching. Well, I would expect the first question would be, what am I going to spend the money on? And here's my shopping list. It's here, the first Kids Printmaking Space Lab 3D printer. With this, I will be able to print a press, print a paper mold for handmade paper, print printing plates, and then print that plate on the paper on the press. Thanks to Christine, Geralda, and Nellie Adele for their contributions to the GoFundMe project. I hope you'll donate too. Yes, it's here. The 3D printer is here, and now I need to watch a lot of videos on unpacking it because there's a complicated process. And we got another $50 donation today. I'm very grateful for that. We're that much closer to the completion of the Kids Printmaking Space Lab. It's actually starting. I feel like Dr. Frankenstein. The 3D printer for the Kids Printmaking Space is starting to print the decal for the papermaking phase of the project. Let's see if we can take a closer look. That yellow line is the outline of the decal. It's going to be a box. It's going to take about 5 hours. My name is Bill Ritchie, and I'm rebranding myself as a printmaker. And so what you see on the screen is a 3D printer, but it's not what you think. I'm not making prints with a 3D printer. I'm making the parts of a studio. And this studio is part of my rebranding process. See, I was branded as a printmaker in 1960. That's over 60 years ago. And now it's 2024. And the old brand, frankly, doesn't work. It's still fun. I still like to make an etching now and then. But I'm a kid again. And if someone gave me an etching press today as a kid, I'd find it to be almost totally useless. You know, I would lose attention real fast. Frankly, I wouldn't know what to do with it or why I was doing it, and I would be much more interested in my 3D printer today. So, since I love kids, I decided around 10 years ago in 2014 to redefine. I started a process right after I left the Southern Graphics Council printmaking conference in San Francisco, where I met a lot of people who were looking at our mini half-wood presses at the time. And on the way home, as my wife drove the car, I made notes, and I sort of wrote down a Declaration of Independence. And I wasn't sure where I was going, but I knew that I'd been there and I'd done that, and going to that conference was like the ultimate trip to Mecca. And it wasn't all I thought it would be, frankly. I kept on for the last 10 years, and I arrived at the conclusion that the best thing I can do now as a creative innovative artist, was to create a kids printmaking space. And so what I'm creating here with this 3D printer, with money contributed by people to the GoFundMe process, is the makings of a kids printmaking space lab. My idea is to make this studio of ours, the mini art gallery we call it, into a showcase sort of for developing kids printmaking spaces. Now we're not sure what form these should take, frankly. I started one about a year ago that looks like this. I modeled it after the workshop in Riga. Here's an example of a girl in Latvia working with our mini half-wood press, and kids on a cruise that we made on the Emerald Star, Lake Union. Here's a kid in our space pulling her first etching. Another inspiration was the Open Press Project 3D printed plastic printer from 2018. I have two of them now. This is the smaller version of the 3D printed press. The workshop in Riga, called Graphic Scola, also has music alongside their printing and their monotype systems. They're very beautiful, inspirational. As far as paying for it goes, as far as paying for the kids printmaking space, that of course will be up to the consumers of this space. The people who buy the space either as a school organization or as families, to buy the equipment to make the parts, such as the 3D printer. Well, I'm done rambling. For the next 4 hours, I'll be doing other projects, and the printer will be continuing making the decal for the kids printmaking space. The revolutionary thing about my kids printmaking space is it's actually intended to be global in character. I've traveled around the world, and I have taught college level printmaking for 20 years, almost 20 years. So what I'm bringing to the table is a global vision. It means that kids using these printmaking spaces will be exposed to global issues. I'm concerned about climate change, for example, and I believe STEM education will go a long way toward helping solve the problem and help kids make a better world for themselves. And my contribution to STEM is the print model as the A, the art, in STEAM, and my ultimate aim is to add reading and writing also. Well, thank you for listening, watching. I'm Bill Ritchie.